Hi, welcome to another Marketing Done Right. My name is Rui Nunes, and today the show should be named Digital Advertising Done Right, because I'm going to share my experience in this domain, and I really have strong convictions about how digital marketing should be run in your brand using the different the channels that you have at your service. Digital marketing has a bad reputation, let's face it. And that's mainly because of our own fault as marketers, because we usually, sometimes, most of the times, we do it badly. And that's mainly because we are chasing the short-term goals, like getting as much leads as possible, or getting someone to get a sales pitch, and that's frankly not the best way, and we are not doing it right for our brand. What happens is we push the envelope. We are never pleased, neither are our clients, and that means that we are always focusing on the wrong KPIs, because we are always trying to increase leads or to increase the sales that we have on our e-commerce stores, or eventually our the services. However, it's not sustainable to keep pushing the sales and not investing on the brand, the perspective and the experience for our ideal audience. And that's key for a better the performance and for a more the sustainable one, because it's not only to acquire new clients, but also to retain the ones that we have. For many years, I was working on what it's called the performance marketing. It's kind of funny, because the performance marketing should be every marketing, because we need to always be performing in spite of what it's called the performance marketing, because it's all focus on the short-term goals. Yet this coined the term defines those very specific results that can grow a business very quickly. We're talking about more leads, qualified the traffic to landing pages or websites, more sales, app downloads, affiliate marketing. Whatever you think about the performance marketing, it's all on these very concrete KPIs or results in this case. It became clear that the major difference between the brands that we needed to invest a lot of money and work to achieve the performance than the ones that we just needed to implement a good campaign and the results were coming in, the main difference was a strong brand. So if you have a strong brand and you are doing this kind of the performance campaigns on a brand that it's already strong and people know it and trust it and has a good reputation, it's much more easier. Anyone can verify that and state that their experience is the same, because it is. It's using that strong brand. It's much more easier to promote and get the results that you want than the ones that you are just trying to accomplish that specific goal, like for instance a sale or a lead or whatever. Having said that, you would say that we should invest as much on the branding campaigns than in the performance ones, right? My vision is a bit different. Okay, let me share a bit more about my experience with the performance campaigns. Okay, any agency or performance the professional will only focus on one thing: the deliver X amount of leads, the traffic, whatever you hire them to do. Then there's another step that you need to implement, right? It's the sales pitch, the representative of your brand trying to close the deal. You know the drill. It's the recurring sales that you need to implement, right? When dealing with leads, for instance, your sales team, usually the sales team, it's crying out loud because the quality of the leads, it's not very interesting for them. They need to take much more effort to get a lot of no's before they are going to close some deal. So it's a lot of effort. They are going to stress out, and the quality of the leads is not good. After a few attempts, if the sales are not that good, the agency it's also going to drop it. If you don't like the value of the leads that you are going to have, you're not pleased, but the agency as well, it's not getting the results they want. So it's something that every stakeholder it's not pleased with the relationship and the business that it's getting from this. Let me explain the paradigm. You are using brute force to blast out your ideal audience's brick walls. It's like the self-defense they use. It's the brick walls they build up around them to protect them from you as a marketer, the trying to get a sale. Sometimes we get lucky and we have a sale. But what happens is, with this sale, we are keeping the game on, right? So we have a sale, we have the money, and we have the results to present, and keeping all of these the status quo, and we are keeping it alive, investing on the performance base, getting a lot of leads. The sales team are raging about the quality of the leads, but the sales are getting, and the management is happy with the involvement of the company, right? I challenge you to do what marketing best practices tell us. In fact, it's to becoming the brand that everyone is going to think about when they are trying to find a solution for their problem, right? It's ideal, maybe, but it's something that you can accomplish for your brand. That sounds good, right? Yes, I know. It's easier to say than done. I know that. However, it's very achievable. You can't survive just doing the creative and lovable stories, and then only focusing on these campaigns ongoing when you have also short-term goals. I understand that. You have short-term goals that you need to accomplish, and all of these campaigns, very creative, very interesting for your audience. It's very hard to keep it going. I understand. It's understandable. I'm with you, okay? But you can do both, actually. You can even do more of the long-term campaigns on long-term results and the fewer of the performance ones. You need to understand something. You are doing far worse than not getting new customers. You are creating antibodies against your brand because of the strategies that you are using. You are focusing so badly in getting new clients that you are creating to a large audience like an incredible amount of antibodies against your brand. And that's because of the strategies that you are using. And it's hurting very badly your brand and the image they have about your brand. While you are watching this video, if you are not a premium subscriber of YouTube, for instance, while you are watching this video, eventually, if this video is long enough, and unfortunately my videos usually are very long, sorry about that, but eventually you already have seen a number of ads during this video, because if you are not a premium subscriber of YouTube, eventually you will have a lot of ads that you are seeing. It's interrupting the consumption of my content, and you are being interrupted on your browsing experience of consuming the content with ads. It's the perfectly legitimate, because we are using a free service that it's based on advertising. I know about that. There's no problem, and I'm not against that. However, the brands that use this kind of advertising, sometimes you are creating almost like an aversion to the brand itself by interrupting and by trying to push the communication. And then what's happening, it's that you are not happy with that. It's eventually the one in, I don't know, 1000 can be something that it's very interesting, and it catches your eye, and it's very entertaining and pleasant to see. However, most of the times it's just a nuisance, and it's not something that you really like to see it. It's basically a waste of invested money, and it's creating an aversion against the brand and not exactly a good feel about the brand. It's almost the opposite. So how can we work around this? How can we do some really good ads for people to really feel that it's interesting for them? In my perspective, we need to be very smart and to understand deeply our audience and to know exactly what they want to consume in terms of content. And that means to produce very exciting content for them, okay, that will entertain and provide valuable insights to your audience. Are you watching this video so far? Maybe that's because I'm saying something that you really find it interesting. Maybe it's just because I'm gorgeous and so stupid. But yeah, something has made you stay here and listen to me. Either way, it's interesting for you, right? So that's the main point. This means that if you make something that the audience it's going to enjoy and be very pleased to see, we are going to create more of that. Basically, you find out what your audience really likes to see, what they think it's very entertaining, and then you need to create more of those. It sounds simple, right? It's not, I know. As for distribution of the content, distribution. Oh, my accent, it's so bad. Sorry about that. As for distribution, opt for less intrusive approach. Instead of interrupting people or using channels that it can interrupt people, let's try to do advertising the positions that are not so intrusive or it's blended up on the browsing experience. If you do that and you provide value on the advertising itself, for instance on YouTube, why not to do something that instead of the typical ad, you are really providing something that is very interesting. It's almost like, okay, let's give some insights to my audience, because that's what I know they want, because I deeply understand my audience, and that's what I'm going to do to reach them with relevance on the advertising itself. Another important point is to avoid the pitch sale. Instead of going directly for the pitch, you need to really give value. And the idea is to deliver outstanding content to your audience and then to make their life easier if they want to reach you, and then to get more information about your service, your product, whatever. You need to really optimize all of the ways they are going to use to get in touch with your team or your brand. For instance, if you have a very good search results when they are going to search for your brand or your service on Google, it's very important to have an SEO very optimized for your brand online, and also to have a swift navigation between what they want to reach, like more information about what you are promoting, or even to get in touch with the right team inside your organization. So I have an idea that it might be easier for you to understand my point of view. Imagine that you don't have any budget to promote your brand online. Okay? All you have to do is the best practices to gain that reach using the organic way to find your best audience. And what you are going to do, usually when you don't have a lot of money to invest on ads, it's that you are going to produce awesome content. Okay? That's that's the one thing that you are going to do because you don't have any other way to promotion of your brand. So you are producing that kind of content. Awesome. What happens now is that in fact, you have a budget to boost all of this content. So you are not buying ads. What you are doing is you are just boosting up the reach of the content that you are already producing as an organic approach. Another thing that it's very important as well, it's to be consistent. You can't just boost some time and then you stop doing that and reverse to another strategy. You need to be consistent. You need to give it some time. It's kind of annoying when you see some kind of approach very interesting and then you just blow up the same feeling that I was having about the brand because you are trying to get another approach that it's not the same thing. So the thing about the consistency is that you need to keep always be very demanding about the quality of the content that you are going to produce. Obviously, sometimes you're not going to reach always the same quality because you also need to produce in quantity. However, it's kind of important to really try to be very demanding about the quality that you are delivering. It's something that it's not going to stop and you give it the 2 years and then you are going to stop or something like that. You need to always keep investing on the way that you are going to build up your brand and increase the reach of your brand. For instance, as an example, imagine the Coca-Cola. It's one of the most known brands around the world, and it all started in 1886, I think. So it's it's a very long time, and they are very known today because the way they promote their brand, it's always been the consistent with the line of communication of that brand and always in a very high stake. So that's the way that you are going to keep your brand for years and years, always building up and not just ending as some brand that it's very important today and tomorrow nobody knows about that brand again. The Patagonia, it's one of the most recent brands. Now it's doing an outstanding job with their marketing efforts. So, and that's because they've invested dearly in how the brand communicates consistently around all of the channels they own or they're using to reach their audience. I would love to say that it would be easier. However, it's not true because nothing that it's easier like that, it's going to last and it's going to be enduring. So it's not going to be easier in the future. You just need to keep consistently producing all of this content, okay? This is already a very long video. You must be bored by now. Actually, nobody is watching the video right now because everyone has left. Okay, let's end up with a short list of the things that you need to implement, okay? That eventually it's going to be more useful for you. So, number one, to produce very entertaining and interesting content in a consistent way. Number two, imprint your unique the point of view on that topic. Like for instance, if your brand is from a particular industry, imprint your unique point of view of how you do things in that industry. What makes you different? And that needs to be in every content or advertising that you are going to do. Number three, try not to immediately pitch. In that case, you are going to place the CTAs and call to actions at the end of the landing pages or the content itself that you are promoting, not immediately trying to engage these people to lead generation or something like that, okay? You're just delivering the content. But then, obviously, you need to make it easier. So you are going to place the CTAs in the content that you are promoting. Number four, Try to use non-intrusive positions or strategies on your advertising. Think about that very carefully when you are planning all of your advertising campaign. Try not to use the invasive the positions or advertising strategies and opt for the other ones. Number 5, it's to target your audience very carefully. If you do it very carefully, they are going to find the relevance of your advertising because you've built those ads just for them. It's different if you do like a more open approach to your audience. If you do that, you're going to also reach people that are not going to relate with your ads. So it's not going to be that interesting for them. That's key. And that's it. That's it. The 5 tips. I hope you use it. If you think about it, it's a no-brainer, actually. This is how you should design all of your ads. It's Marketing 101. Maybe this will serve like a wake-up call, I guess. Maybe. Okay, let's wrap this out. Thank you very much for watching. I'll appreciate if you like the video below and use that share button to share this information with your friends. It's how this channel can grow and reach more people. Thank you. Be cool. Bye bye.